My name is Jen, and I'm 23 years old. I work in a busy marketing firm, and my life has been anything but ordinary. It all started when I joined the company a year ago and was assigned to work alongside Mike. He's 30, charming, and has an air of confidence that makes the office buzz with excitement. From the moment we met, I felt an undeniable attraction. Mike has this intense gaze that makes my heart race, and his playful banter always leaves me wanting more. It's a feeling I can't shake off, and it's become almost unbearable. I often catch myself daydreaming about him, imagining what it would be like to feel his lips on mine, to lose myself in his embrace. The tension between us built gradually, with stolen glances and lingering touches. Then, one afternoon, he leaned in a little closer while we were discussing a project. "You know, Jen, we should hang out outside of work sometime," he suggested with that sly grin of his. My heart raced as I nodded, unable to find my voice. This is my story, and I have more to share. Subscribe so I can keep sharing them with you. It's that button on the bottom right. He texted me later that week, suggesting I come over to his place for a casual get-together. I could hardly believe my luck. I spent hours preparing. I wanted to look irresistible. When I arrived at Mike's house, I was nervous but excited. The atmosphere was charged. "Hey, come on in," he said with that magnetic smile. But instead of the typical drinks or dinner, he surprised me by suggesting we play pool. Pool? I echoed, almost laughing internally. This wasn't what I had expected for tonight, but why not? There was something oddly thrilling about his unexpected invitation. "Sure, why not?" I replied, aiming for a casual tone even though my heart raced. As I stepped into his game room, the dim lighting and the smell of polished wood made the setting feel intimate. I watched him chalk his cue. The way his muscles flexed as he leaned over the table sent shivers down my spine. With every shot I took, I made sure to turn it into a playful performance. I leaned in a little closer than necessary, letting my movements linger, my body language sending subtle yet unmistakable signals. It wasn't just about the game anymore. I wanted him to feel the tension, to notice the way I was deliberately inviting him to lose focus. We started playing, and the air quickly grew thick with tension. With each shot, I could feel the chemistry sizzling between us. Mike would lean in closer, his breath warm against my skin. I could hardly focus on the game. All I could think about was how much I wanted him to kiss me. And then, just like that, the moment arrived. He paused, his eyes locked onto mine, and I felt an electric charge in the air. My heart raced as he leaned in, closing the distance between us. But what I felt wasn't your skin, wasn't your touch, it was something else. I stood frozen, unable to move, caught in a moment of uncertainty. But the sensation, that slow, deliberate movement creeping up my leg, was unmistakably provocative. It wasn't his touch. What was he doing? I refused to look back, yet unable to pull myself away. I stayed there, heart pounding, my breath shallow, waiting, unsure of what would happen next, but feeling every second stretch, charged with anticipation. So, he moved provocatively, that unexpected gesture, that touch, it left me with an ever-growing desire. I couldn't help but notice that. I liked it. There was something about the way he made me feel, something that stirred something deep inside me. The way that touch lingered, the way he knew just how to drive me crazy with every small movement. It was like he had unlocked a part of me I didn't even know existed, and now I couldn't stop wanting more. And he did more, and more, and more. Each movement, each touch, grew more daring, more intense. It was as if he could read every hidden desire I had, pushing me to the edge with every step. His actions were deliberate, teasing, making me crave him even more. There was no hesitation in the way he moved. He took control, drawing me deeper into a whirlwind of temptation. With every provocative touch, I could feel the heat building between us, and with each passing moment, I knew there was no turning back. I was drawn in, helpless to resist, caught in the grip of a desire I had never known before. Suddenly, he stopped and turned me around, bringing us face to face. As our lips met, an explosion of emotions coursed through me. I had dreamed about this moment, but nothing could compare to the reality of his kiss. It was soft at first, but as I melted into him, the kiss deepened, igniting a fire within me that I never knew existed. My hands found their way to his hair, pulling him closer, as if we could fuse into one. Mike pulled back slightly, his breath warm against my face. "Wow," he murmured, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. "I didn't think it would feel this intense." His honesty only fueled my desire further. "You have no idea how long I've wanted this," I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. The vulnerability in my words hung in the air between us, thickening the atmosphere even more. He smiled, that charming smile that made my heart race. "Then let's not waste any more time." With that, he leaned in again, capturing my lips with his. This time, his hands slid down my waist, pulling me against him. I could feel the heat radiating from his body, and I responded with equal fervor, running my fingers over his broad shoulders. We stumbled back slightly, and I felt the edge of the pool table against my back. Mike pressed his body against mine, the firm surface of the table providing a delicious friction. I gasped as he deepened the kiss, his tongue exploring mine with a hunger that sent bolts of electricity through me. It was just us, lost in our own world. The game of pool was forgotten. I could feel the heat pooling in my core, and I instinctively pressed myself closer to him, craving more. "Jen," he breathed, pulling back just enough to look into my eyes. "You have no idea how long I've wanted this too." His honesty was intoxicating, and I could see the desire mirrored in his gaze. I felt emboldened by his words, and I leaned in for another kiss, this one more urgent and wild. My body responded instinctively, wrapping my legs around his waist as he lifted me slightly, pressing me firmly against the table. The thrill of the moment was overwhelming. I had dreamed of this, and now it was happening, right here in his game room, under the soft glow of the lights. I could feel the heat radiating from him, and I knew we were crossing a line, but in that moment, I didn't care. "Let's take this to the next level," I whispered, my cheeks flushed with desire. Mike's eyes darkened with passion as he nodded, a daring smile playing on his lips. We both knew we were standing on the edge of something exhilarating, something neither of us could resist. With a shared understanding, Mike took my hand and led me deeper into his house, the anticipation building with every step. My heart raced as we reached his bedroom, a space that felt intimate and inviting. Soft lighting illuminated the room, casting a warm glow that heightened the atmosphere. As we entered, Mike closed the door behind us. He turned to me, his eyes filled with a mix of desire and tenderness. He stepped closer, his hands finding my waist as he pulled me into him. Our lips met again, hungry and urgent, as if we had been starved for this moment. I could feel his warmth enveloping me, igniting every nerve ending in my body. Mike's hands began to explore, tracing along my sides, sending shivers down my spine. I responded by pulling him closer, wrapping my arms around his neck, feeling the strength in his body. Every kiss, every touch was electric, awakening parts of me I hadn't known were dormant. As the intensity grew, we stumbled backward onto the bed. In that moment, we lost ourselves in each other. Barriers were broken, and we explored every inch of each other's with a mix of urgency and tenderness. I had never felt so alive, so desired. Each kiss, each caress deepened the connection between us, spiraling into a beautiful dance of passion. Eventually, we collapsed together, breathless and intertwined. I rested my head against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. We lay there in comfortable silence, the weight of the world lifted from our shoulders. In that moment, I knew we were embarking on something special, something that would change both of our lives. The night may have started with a game of pool, but it had transformed into an unforgettable chapter of our story, one filled with passion, connection, and the promise of a beautiful future together. This is my story, and I have more to share. Subscribe so I can keep sharing them with you. It's that button on the bottom right.